If we have a calling to practice something or put something out in the world, doesn't the result then matter? Well, I would argue no, and I'll tell you why in this video. Hey everyone, welcome to Holiness Connection. Welcome to Oneness Practices. If you're watching my YouTube channel and you're not aware of Oneness Practices yet, that is my Substack newsletter. You can join for free down below in the description box. And when you do, you will receive a guided meditation to support your practice of oneness. So in today's video, I wanted to address non-clinging to the result of something that we care deeply about. In this particular case, I'm talking about Oneness Practices, which is this offering that I have, that I've even had a vision around, that I'll share with you in a particular guided meditation. And still, the fact that the result is not the point. So I feel like I have this calling towards offering Oneness Practices and this content around deep connection. And it's been very much a theme in my spiritual journey, and it's felt like this right time to put it out there. And I even had, like I said, a vision that became one of the guided meditations that I'll offer on Substack that is around this vision of future and where the way we practice oneness with each other is actually very different. It's like more like we're much more in sync and in flow and in communication in a different way as this potential timeline for the future. But what's interesting is it did come to me as a potential timeline, and so that doesn't that sound like, oh well, let's make that timeline happen? It sounds like it would mean that, doesn't it? And it feels really important. However, which is why I call it a calling. However, I still know on this deep level that it's not about making it happen. It's about the dance, the participation, the engagement in the practice. So it's really still about now, the present moment, like in our engagement, even if we have that vision for the future. It's not about clinging to that, partly because that clinging state actually, is not where we want to be. It's, when we're in the state where we are feeling the oneness fully, it's a state of abundance, it's a state of freedom. I can definitely attest to that because I was very much in the oneness and unity when I had my spiritual awakening back in 2009. And it felt so profoundly free at the same time. It was not at all clinging in any way, yet it was so deeply meaningful and connected and important, right? Important in that way. But the importance was sort of inherent to the fact of the oneness. And what felt right was someone might call it alignment. So feeling into it, right? Feeling into the connection, feeling into the oneness. And that really was about that engagement, engaging with it, with the oneness that was present, that is present. And so what I come back to here is my teacher, Cynthia Bourgeau's teacher, Brother Rafe's saying, I guess, well, he just said it and it's, become a quote to me and a touch point. One of my major touch points is no conscious act is ever wasted. And I think that's really getting at the same thing. So sometimes people might want to conceptualize this as more like a butterfly effect, like you don't know. You might just never know what effect you have on something. And that's true too. But I think it's also true that it's the engagement and the consciousness that matters. And so there's no waste to it if somehow the result isn't what was expected. It's the alignment, it's the engagement, which is really the practicing oneness too, in a lot of ways that matter. And so I encourage you, whether you're doing the oneness practices with me, whether you're doing other spiritual practices, whether you're engaging in other meaningful work, even whatever that is, to really realize that it's your engagement with it. It's your feeling into the connection in the present moment and what you're doing that is important. And that is the key. So not clinging to the result, but being and engaging and aligning with what you know to be true to what's calling to you.